Yeah. Hello. My name is Carol, and I'm not an auntie because I'm really young. And yeah, I'll be doing the talk for today on the series Big Truths for Young Hearts. Today I'll be talking about God as creator and ruler. And yeah, so with that, I'll just break down what we're going to be talking about today. So in these first two chapters, we're talking about the big topic of God as creator and ruler of everything. So we hear it all the time. For those that have been going to church since like you were really young, I'm sure you've heard it in Sunday school. So yeah, I'll be talking more about that and also further talking about why does knowing this matter to us. So yeah, that'll be the talk for today. So with that, we're going to section 1, God the Creator. So yeah, I'm sure all of us here have created or made something in our lives. So I have a few examples here. Maybe it's like a school project. So there were school projects on solar systems and volcanoes that I remember doing when I was in primary school. And I remember it was really fun, like experimenting with the bicarb soda and stuff. I forgot what was in it, but yeah, maybe for others, it's artworks that you did. So we just played a game of Scribblio. So maybe you created an artwork there. And I also have this wonderful artwork by William that I found on his very obvious sketch of Sonic, if you can't tell. And yeah, for others, it might be an essay you wrote in school. Or yeah, for other people, it could be designing whole buildings to be constructed. So yeah, today I'll be talking about how even the simplest things in life is not created by us first. So as Christians, we believe that God has made everything in the whole universe, and he did this without using any materials already there. So we can see this in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, where in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So through this verse, we learn that God was there before like anything existed. And he was the one that created the heavens and the earth, and he created out of nothing. Yeah. So yeah, that's really awesome. Like imagine just, saying something and stuff being created. Like he is so different to us because we as humans need materials already at hand to make something. So I was gonna give an example of something that I like to make. So for example, I like making sweet pastries in my spare time, and they don't look like that, but I like, making it and eating it. And I like to so to make it, I first have to get all my ingredients together before using items such as a mixing bowl, a whisk, and an oven to, heat it up and produce it. So in the end, out comes a pastry, and I get to eat it by myself because no one trusts my cooking at home, which I understand. And yeah, it's delicious. Yeah, but I want to further explain how even the ingredients and items that I bought don't just come from the shops, but have been placed in this world by God. So supermarkets get their produce from mostly farms, but even products from the farms come from somewhere. Nothing is just magically made by humans. The seeds that grow grains, veggies, and fruits, and the animals used to make meat were all created from nothing by God. So us human beings are only looking after, growing, or modifying God's creation. Yeah, so what does this show us about God? So this shows us that the God we know is a powerful God. He is so, so powerful that he can speak anything into existence. We'll be taking a closer look into Genesis 1 about the creation of the world. So yeah, imagine a black canvas. There's nothing and it's empty, void, it's dark. Then suddenly God says, let there be light, and just light appears. And it's like, how did he even know what light looked like? Like he just formed it. And then light and dark is separated. It becomes day and night. Next, there's water everywhere. And then God separates the water to become the heavens and the seas of the earth. And then as the seas is separated into one place, dry land appears. So yeah, next on this dry, barren land, God says, yeah, let there be like vegetation, plants, and fruits, and they all just appear like from his words. And yeah, like all these beautiful colors come, and all these life comes. And yeah, then God says, yeah, like let there be living creatures, sky, sea, and land animals are created. And here are some of my favorite animals. I just put them there. Yeah. So yeah, lastly, God creates us human beings from nothing. So yeah, he creates Adam and Eve in Genesis 1. And they are the first humans. And yeah, like just imagine saying like, yeah, like just forming a human out of your words, and then they just appear. Like, that's so cool. So yeah. So how powerful and creative is our God? He looked at this blank, empty canvas and space, and he just said words, and he just formed everything. Yeah, so for me, I really like the sky. Like that's one thing I really like about nature and just about the world. And I might just sound like that cliche Instagram girl who's like, oh my gosh, hashtag like so pretty. But yeah, like some evenings where the sky is just like purple, pink, orange, like just so beautiful. Like I just can't help like standing there and looking at it amazed, because yeah, like how does that even happen? Like what? And then yeah, so and then sometimes at night when I'm just staring at the sky for some reason, and you know, pollution's not that bad, and like I can see the stars and like they're just twinkling and they're just so pretty. I'm like reminded of how like expanse it is, and how no one but our God created it all. So yeah, with that, it's the end of section 1. So God being creator is powerful and creative. So yeah, this leads us to the second section, God the ruler of his creation. So as God is the creator of all things, it means he is the rightful owner and ruler. We can see how this works in our world, where through the example of song making. So people create music and then they copyright it because they own it and don't want anyone stealing it. And that makes sense, like for us, like yeah, like you know, they made it, they deserve to like, you know, like not let people steal it. So yeah, as God is the rightful ruler, he is able to use his creation however he wishes. This would be scary if we didn't know God and what his character is like. But as we put our faith in God and trust his character to be wise, good, powerful, and merciful, we understand that he is a good ruler and he's the best ruler you'll ever have. And I'll further explain why. So where the author of Big Truths for Young Hearts identifies 2 ways that the Bible talks about God's ruling style. So firstly, God provides for everything he has made. And secondly, God guides and directs everything in his creation to accomplish what he has planned. So I'll be elaborating into it. in the next few slides. Yeah, so firstly, God provides for everything he has made. So God doesn't just leave us in the dark. He doesn't just put us on earth and go like, okay, cool, you guys do your thing, bye. But he gives us everything we need. God cares for his creation. He is active in the provision and protection of every part of his creation. So two of my favorite verses that were mentions is Matthew chapter 6, verse 26, and Matthew chapter 6, verse 28 to 30, where Jesus is talking to a crowd. I'll just be reading Matthew chapter 6, verse 26 and 30. So here are the verses. So verse 26, look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And then verse 30, but if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? So yeah, the questions that Jesus asks here at the very end of these verses shows us that we should put our faith in God because he has our best interests at heart. And we should trust that as God looks after even the smallest and insignificant parts of his creations, how much more would he care for us human beings who he calls his child? Yeah. So God is a good ruler because he provides everything for his creation. Secondly, God guides and directs the world to accomplish everything he has planned for. So what does this mean? This means that God is in control. God has a plan for the world he has made. And this plan is not one that is evil, but one that is good and ultimately brings glory to him. So we move on to the final section. Why does knowing God is creator and ruler matter? And how do we apply this to our lives? So knowing that God is creator and ruler matters because this means that he deserves all the praise and honor. He's the one that created everything, and yeah, like he deserves every praise. So just as you would credit someone for a song they made, we should credit everything to God as the creator of all. Like I said in section 1, as God has created all things, he is therefore a very powerful God. But as we are created in his image, we have an inner desire to create as well. So creating is a good thing, like it's not bad. Yeah, but sometimes our desire for creating things come from a selfish place. Yeah, this could be to create the best art project, the best essay, the best dish, but instead of dedicating the thing we made to God, we want to take the attention and praise from other people to boost ourselves up. So we take his recognition instead. On the flip side, not everyone is constantly proud of what they've made. Maybe you're the type of person to continually talk down on yourself and disregard the thing you've made. You might be like, oh, this is such a bad project, a bad essay, a bad dish I made. Oh, I can't do anything, stuff like that. But this also is not the right attitude because you're also not giving the praise and honor to God as well. You're talking down on his creation. So for application, at 2 points, be humble when creating something and also praise God for what he has given you. Yeah. And then secondly, we can trust him. That's why knowing God as creator and ruler matters, because he is providential. So he provides everything for us and he's also in control. So that leads to the application of cast all your anxieties and worries to him. And yeah, with that, that's the end of the talk. So yeah, we'll be moving on to discussion groups, and I've got questions here.